Live, local, and up to the minute. You're listening to The Shift with Patty Handysides on AM800.
It is 19 minutes before 3 o'clock here on The Shift on this Friday. It's a Friday. Just kind of still cloudy and miserable out there. I know. Just everyone needs a boost of that sun, right? But it looks like right now Wednesday is the earliest that we're going to see sight of the sun. Oh, boy, that's a long wait. Oh, well. We've got things to keep us cheery this weekend, like a football game. We'll be talking about that today. Over 100,000 people in Ontario living with intellectual disabilities are in some trouble. And that includes a lot of agencies right here in Windsor, Essex. The sector has not received a significant increase in funding for 30 years. And now with soaring inflation, well, they're unable to just keep up with the level of services that they provide. Karen Bolger is Executive Director of Community Living Essex County. Michelle Musolato is the mother of an adult son with intellectual disabilities. They spoke with me today about this situation. Karen, we'll start with you. Tell me what the problems are here. What are we looking at? It looks like a bit of a crisis, I guess we could call it.
Yeah, it's absolutely a crisis for the developmental service sector across the province. But, you know, the stark reality for Community Living Essex County is that we have not received base budget increases of more than 5% over the course of 3 decades. And so in that same period, the cost of living has increased by almost 60%. So our operational costs can't possibly keep up. Soaring inflation, the cost of food, utility cost, upkeep and repairs, the maintenance of, we have 50 small group living homes across Essex County. So the repairs and maintenance, ongoing repairs and maintenance of those homes is the costs are increasing significantly. We're also a rural service provider with no public transit. And so vehicles are a must for the people that we support to be able to just have their basic needs met in terms of going to doctor's appointments, going to the bank, those kinds of things, in addition to being able to be involved in the life of their communities, just like you and I. So we have 68 vehicles, including 21 fully accessible vehicles. So the cost of fuel and maintaining those vehicles is incredibly high, and it just continues to increase. We support some of the most vulnerable people in our communities, and so we need to ensure that they have safe homes to live in and also have a quality of life that they're able to be involved in their communities and what's happening in their communities, just like everyone else.
Let's tell people a little more about exactly the services you offer, what it is you do in the community. And I know that community living is a province-wide.
Absolutely. So Community Living Essex County, we provide supports and services to children, youth, and adults across Essex County, about 700 children, youth, and adults and their families. We provide accommodation supports, which is 24/7 supports to people in small group living homes. We provide supported independent living for adults who are able to live on their own with minimal types of supports, whether that's assistance with banking or getting to and from doctor's appointments or just help with budgeting, those kinds of things, whatever somebody might need. We provide community participation supports, out-of-home respite for families to give families a break so that they can recuperate and rejuvenate and to go back to caregiving on Monday morning. We also provide employment supports to people who are looking for employment, and we provide support to host family situations, and that's adults who want to live in a family home. And so we are able to provide support and guidance to families who are willing to have someone with an intellectual disability join them and live in their family home and provide those kinds of support. So we provide a wide range of supports and services to people and families across Essex County.
And Michelle, as someone who receives the services from community living, you have an adult son with developmental disabilities. Tell us about what it is they do for you.
So my son lives in 24-hour supports in a home with 3 other individuals who are supported. He has his own suite because he has very challenging behavioral needs, and he does very well. This has greatly improved his ability to generally function in life. And he's very well supported by community living, who has highly trained individuals who provide him the behavior supports he needs so that he can be successful and participate in his community. And that participating in his community means that he can go and play pickleball, he can go swimming, he can go to the library, he can take music therapy, and he can participate in Meals on Wheels. And without these highly trained, very skilled support people available to him, which would be the services that community living would probably have to look at cutting first, he would be limited into what he could do. And there may be some leaning on us as a family. And right now, my husband and I could perhaps take up some of that slack, but there are many, many individuals who are supported who don't have parents, who don't have family, or don't have people who are capable of doing this right now.
And how long have you been involved with them? How long have you been getting help from them?
So my son has lived residentially with them for 13 years, but community living has provided supports of some kind since he was quite young, so for over 20 years.
Knowing that they're in this kind of funding crunch right across the province, how does that make you feel? What kind of concerns do you have?
Well, I'm concerned that a lot of the gains that have been made, much because of community living's highly trained and very compassionate staff, he may not be able to do these participations. He may not be as successful, and some of the challenging behaviors may return, which may mean that my husband and I cannot manage, which is why he is in 24-hour care in the first place, that he has very challenging behaviors.
So
we're hoping that...
Yeah, go ahead.
We're hoping that they don't come back.
Right. Yeah, you don't want anything to slide backwards here.
Right.
So, Karen, knowing that you're not alone in here, too, that other community living groups across the province are finding the same problem, extreme financial crisis, what's the message you're trying to get out here, and who are you directing this at?
Well, we're directing it to the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. That's our major funder in developmental services, and we're asking for a minimum of 5% increase in our base budgets, an immediate 5%, just to help us to manage right now. And the ask is that we also have, that future funding is tied to inflation rates. Agencies like ours we've been very fiscally responsible year over year over year. We are involved in significant fundraising, and we are so thankful to our community who make our fundraising successful, but we can't always count on that year over year. We can only stretch $1 so far, and we have stretched that dollar as far as we can stretch it. So we're very, very concerned in the near future that, we're going to have to look really seriously about possibly some restructuring. We're going to have to look at, we don't want to go this route, but we may have to look at some reduction of service to people, and that's just not acceptable.
So not even
twofold.
I was going to say just not even group homes, but the day support programs you have. I mean, that's got to be such a lifeline for people that you don't want to have to see cuts there.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, just coming out of, the pandemic, we're rebuilding our community participation support for people and families now. We're still in the process of getting back up and running with those. And, and to have another hit on families again, it will create crisis not only for our agency, but for those families. And the second part of our ask to the government is that 5% increase to funding that families receive through special services at home and Passport. Families are struggling with the same kind of things. They're having a difficult time. There's that added pressure of finding workers, the increased cost of activities and transportation to and from other activities that they're purchasing or looking for their sons and daughters as well. So it's across the board in developmental services.
Well, my mind is still having a hard time grasping the fact that there's only been a 5% increase in 30 years. Knowing just in the last year and a half how inflation has gone, what the costs have gone up, everything else that we need to pay for, that I can't imagine, especially as you're talking about all the vehicles and fuel you need to help people get appointments, medical appointments and other activities. Just simply amazing to know that it's been there. You've been quietly doing this work for so long in our communities, such really necessary work. I really hope that this plea goes out and that it's heard by the right people.
Absolutely. There's Community Living Ontario and Oasis have really worked hard to help the government and help agencies like ours get the word out that this is a crisis. This is a crisis for developmental services. There's just, we need the increase in our base budgets to be able to, keep the lights on, to maintain what we currently have now. And, there's the added pressures of sustaining our existing workforce. I mean, they have endured and shown such resilience, and staffing crisis and shortages for too many years already. That's just one more pressure for organizations like ours to have to work with as well. So, the increase in our base is hugely important to keep us moving forward as an organization and as a sector across the province.
Well, we're certainly hoping to hear some good news very soon on this, Karen. Thanks so much. And Michelle,
yeah.
I'm glad to hear your story too. Thank you so much for sharing it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
That's Karen Bolger, Executive Director of Community Living Essex County, and Michelle Mastelato, mother of an adult son with intellectual disabilities who gets support from Community Living. It's 2:53.
On the go.
Did you know you can listen to